What does it really take to clear and level a really steep wooded vacant lot? In this video, we are going to jump into that. I've got some new equipment. You're going to see some skid steer work, some excavator work, a bunch of taking trees down and clearing, and then this really steep ravine. I've got to balance out and level out the grade. So you're going to see a lot of grading, chainsaw work, and lots of progress on this one. This is going to be an extra long video series, and this is part 1. So I hope you sit back and enjoy this video. This is Sean. I'm out here at my vacant lot today, and what I want to work on today is I want to get something pushed in right here. So something that I can get some trucks in here, start maybe delivering some dirt, and just get a pathway in here. So I've got my medium Kubota here today, and I'm just trying to take a look and see where I want to go. I think I went in through here before, but that looks kind of steep over there. So I'm gonna give this a try. Actually, maybe right through there. But that's what I'm working on today. This will be the first step in developing this property. things are coming along pretty well here, and I can burn on this property, so that's a huge benefit. So I guess I do have the stuff to burn today and cut some of this up, but I don't think I'm going to start any fires today. I want to be able to be here all day. But I'm trying to clean this area up a little bit, and right now with this smaller machine, I'm just getting some of the smaller trees so I can maneuver in here with my bigger machine. That's the plan for today. So it's going pretty well. I think I got a pretty good start today, and things have been pretty dry, so I'll definitely wait for a misty, rainy, overcast day before I burn this. And I'll probably trim some of the stuff back too, just to keep it contained a little bit. I don't want to catch the rest of the woods on fire. And I guess the next thing I need to do is get a culvert in here, so that I can drive a dump truck back here. So I may work on that as well. I'm kind of doing this under the radar. I talked to the county about 6 months ago, and they were out here and we flagged some stuff and everything. And so yeah, it's going to be a big project, that's for sure. I'm back out here today. We got about 2 inches of rain 2 days ago, and there's very little wind today. It's overcast, it's kind of damp and cool. So I guess I'm gonna get started on burning. And let me show you the tools and equipment that I'll be using. I'm probably gonna clean up some of this leaf litter too. But I've got the X here, I've got a big bucket on it. Got a leaf blower, chainsaw, some used motor or hydraulic oil, and I've got some safety equipment as well. And then I've also got my fire starter, so that works really well. So let me get some of this stuff unloaded and I'll be right back with you. Okay, while the fire's going, I think what I want to do next is start to develop my construction entrance here. And I was looking at this the other day. There is a culvert under the whole frontage of this property, but I'm not sure if I want to put a culvert in here before I put my surge in for my construction entrance or not. It doesn't really look like there's a lot of water that comes down here, but all this debris jam suggests that there is a lot that comes down here. So I'm not sure if I want to just throw a culvert in. DOT requires an 18-inch minimum, so that would be up quite a bit. But I'm kind of envisioning this property sloping down similar to this one. And there's a water line in here going to that hydrant, and then there's a culvert under here, a concrete culvert. So I think what I want to do right now is just start blowing this bank out. I've got my grading bucket, my 36-inch grading bucket, and I think I want to just start on that so I can get some gravel in here while the fire's going. So I think that's what my plan is. I was hammering with this thing and a chunk just chipped off of there and flew back at me and hit me. And if you look at this head, it looks like a bunch of chunks have been flinging off like that. So I think I'm going to replace this. I found this in a bed of mulch and it looked just like that when I pulled it up, but I don't like how its pieces are chipping off and flinging back and hitting me. But anyway, I'm going to go start taking some more trees down while the fire does its thing. I took a couple more small trees down and I'll work on getting those in a pile at some point, but this thing's doing pretty good. So I'll be back over here in the morning to push it in and check on it. I'm back out here with my skid steer. You guys haven't seen this one yet. I just got this one about maybe a month ago, and this will be the first time I've used it. So what I want to get done right now before it gets dark is I want to get this surge spread and maybe do a little bit of digging. The guy I bought this from said these ASVs dig like crazy. So I've got the tooth bucket off my Volvo. This is an 84-inch bucket. This one came with a smooth bucket, so those don't really dig too well. So let's see how this machine does. Well, the thing digs like crazy, but I don't know if you can tell or not, but I suck at running it. It's so fast, you can't see anything, and I've got a couple little obstacles here. So I think once I get a little bit more space in here, this will be a good machine. But man, it's just really, really fast, really powerful, and you can't see anything out of it because it's got such a reinforced cab. But anyway, let me move the camera and start doing this here. This is going pretty well, and I think what I want to do now is just finish off this area with the surge. It's getting kind of dark anyway, but yeah, it's moved a pretty good mountain so far. don't know if you all can tell from the time lapse, but I suck at running this thing. Golly, I need to get used to it. I'll get better though. I'm back out here on this property and check out what I've got with me. So I've got my new X, my recently repainted trailer, and my tandem. So this is actually going to be the first official job that I've hauled this machine onto. I've just kind of loaded a couple trucks and took it back and forth to the dealership where I bought it. But I've got my Kubota coupler on there, and you all saw that process. So I've got the original tag bucket that the bucket shop redid for me, so that's been working out really well. And whatever they did, that thing, all the dimensions and everything are perfect on that. All the geometry is great, so they're really good. And this truck is doing pretty well also. So my main goal for today is to get some of the bigger trees pushed over and maybe do some sawing too. So I brought a couple of chainsaws. So yeah, this is pretty exciting for me. I wanted to show you this trailer really quickly. This is a tilt deck. So if you look in there really closely, you can hopefully see a couple of little studs that pop out. And this is an air trailer. And so let me show you how this works. You flip a switch here while you've got air on the trailer, and this is going to release the little pegs in there. Hopefully you can see those. So did you see those release? So now this portion of the deck is going to teeter up. So you want to make sure that all your equipment, things like that, are clear from here. And let's see how we do. Things are looking pretty good out here. My burn pile burned down pretty well over several days, and I came over here a couple of times and pushed it in. So that's looking really good. A couple of these stumps just kind of, they didn't really want to do anything, so I just pushed them out of the way. But I think what I want to work on first is getting this hickory out of here. So it's kind of leaning toward the lift station, and so I want to push it away from the lift station and into here somewhere. I may get it caught on a couple of these. That looks like a gum and maybe another gum or an oak. So we'll see how we do. with this. What I'm doing here is I'm just digging around the tree trying to break up the roots, and then I'm going to push on the tree and hopefully use the tree's own weight as leverage to pull the stump out. So you would never want to cut the tree and then try to deal with the stump. You always want to take it out as a piece. And you might notice that I'm using my 36-inch bucket here. This is because at this time I didn't have my root hook yet. And I'm pretty sure the shop was actually building it at this point. I wanted my root hook to have teeth on it and serrations like my other one. And the shop custom made that root hook for me. That was like a little over $3,000, I think. But later in the video, you'll see that I start using that root hook, which works a lot better because it puts the whole strength of the machine into a smaller area instead of a 3-foot wide swath. But yeah, I'm going to start with this big tree. That went pretty well. My main concern was to get it off of this whole angle right here. And so I was pretty sure I was going to catch it on one of those trees, which I wasn't too worried about because if I got it that far, it meant it was good to go. And so hopefully the camera's caught it, but I used a technique called rolling. So you grab one side and you try to like roll the tree. A lot of times if they're super green, all the little limbs will be interlocked with each other and it doesn't work. But that actually worked pretty well. And it took out the leaner that I had left in there from before, that little poplar. So let me clean up this root ball and get this hole filled in. Okay, I'm ready to cut my root ball off, and this is a classic cut where we have our tension side of the log, compression side of the log, and when you make this cut, this root ball is going to very violently pop back up. So I normally would put my bucket back here to help to keep it from doing that, but I think I might move it out of the way just to demonstrate that cut and how you have to be aware of what's going on with it. So let's do that. I picked around at the roots a little bit more, and I was kind of close to the ground, so I picked it up off the ground with the excavator. So before I make this cut, what I want to do is clear away my escape route. Okay, well, what do y'all think? So now that root will either try to get burned or maybe thrown in a dumpster and hauled off to a root dump site or something. But that's a pretty decent hickory log right there. And I'm going to post it up on Marketplace. I'm not going to cut it yet. So whoever wants it can cut it to whatever length they need. I just got this bad boy loaded back up and I wanted to show you. So hopefully I hit the switch there. Hopefully you can see the little pegs come in. You see them right there? Hopefully you saw that. So they just slide in there and lock it in place, and now we're ready. Let me get this thing bound down and I'll be at. I've made some pretty good progress out here. We worked all day yesterday messing around. Got the top of that hickory that I knocked down burned up. And it's another overcast, cold day. It rained last night a little bit, so got the fire going pretty well here. But I think what I want to do today is maybe this white oak, that I think it's a maple right there, and then maybe the one next to it. Get those taken out with the bigger X, and then start to get the tops going in the fire. So I think that's what I want to do for today. But it's Monday, and the powder coating guys next door are in full swing. I think this maple is about ready to go, and I brought the 35-inch bucket because I want to do some more grading over here too, so it's kind of a big hole. But let me get the drone up in the air. Oh, and since I stopped the machine, I'm definitely taking note that it's not super windy or anything like that, because that thing is it's loose. I mean, it's still going to take a huge amount of force from the X to push it over, but you wouldn't want to just have this thing like about ready to tip over and then walk away from it. So let me get the drone up in the air for y'all. Well, those two trees are down. I'm still working on the root ball. The fire's going pretty well. And I'm about to work on lunch. I think I'm gonna cut the log out of here and try to get the top on the fire, so I want to get this stump off of here first. I got what I considered the best part of this log cut, where it started to Y. So now my plan is to get this log out of the way. I think I'm going to put it next to that hickory and then pull the top up here closer to the fire and then cut it up, because you don't want to cut it up down there because then you can't bring it to the fire. And the fire is going pretty well so far. And then the stump, I'm probably going to have to haul these stumps off. So I put the hickory one on the fire the other day, and it barely touched it. So anyway, let me get this rolling here. Fire's doing pretty well, and I started cutting this bank out with the ASV skid steer, and you all saw that already. And I wanted to just see if this would be any faster or better. That's a 35-inch bucket. This machine weighs almost twice what the ASV weighs, but it has half the horsepower. And so I'm going to try to take some of this bank out of here. And my goal for right now is to see if this is more efficient than the skid steer. So what do y'all think? Who's going to win? The X did a pretty good job of removing material. It was pretty quick and much more enjoyable than trying to dig it with a skid steer, but I think with that tooth bucket there, it's leaving a lot of loose stuff, so maybe a combination of the X breaking it up and the skid steer leveling it off. I guess now I'll work on this other tree that came down. It's hung up pretty good, which doesn't really matter when you've got a machine on the job. If you were chainsawing this, that hang up would be a huge disaster, but with the machine, it's not really a big deal. I just pushed this with the blade on the X right there. Try to flatten it out a little bit. But I'm just kind of hanging around letting the fire burn down. And so I guess while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and get this white oak. So I'm going to be working a little bit close to the fire, but hopefully it'll be okay. It should come down pretty easily. I think it's leaning pretty good into the ravine. Boy, that white oak was a big one. Look at the size of this root ball. I mean, that's like a crater. Definitely came down with a crash. I'll probably do another burn pile over there instead of trying to haul all that stuff over here. But yeah, this is definitely a big tree. And so once that fire burns up, I'll just basically be taking this whole bank out of here, and I'll just keep moving that way, working my way. So let me see if I can get this root ball to drop the dirt. Well, I took this hickory down off camera because I have such a huge fire going that I wanted to get the tops going. Obviously a warm, hot fire is going to burn stuff up faster. So that is hot right there, boys. But I got the KX080 loaded up, and I'm getting ready to load up my stuff. Got a couple chainsaws and whatever materials to load up. So I'm gonna let this go overnight. Should do pretty well. Well, I've gotten a little bit done here and wanted to catch you all back up. So I had the ASV over here and dug out a bunch of the bank. You can see here how much I dug out. That machine is pretty awesome. And pretty quickly it poured down rain here too, and so my fire went out. I had thrown a few roots and sticks on there, but they didn't take. And so I've got these two trees down here, and I've got some people who might want the logs, and so I think today I'm going to try to move some of this dirt out of the way with the big X here, and then get those other logs. I guess maybe I'll put them over here with these. See if I can get these people to come get them. So yeah, should be a pretty good day today. The question I want to ask now is, am I going to be better off trying to cut this bank all out of here with the ASV skid steer or with this machine? So what I want to do now is tackle this part right here and see how quickly I can break it up. I think what I may want to do is just break it up in place and then use the ASV instead of digging it out with the ASV as well. So this will be interesting to see how it does. Well, I'm sure a lot of you already knew that that machine was going to be way better at breaking up that bank. Man, that was fast and easy. So I think what I may do tomorrow is bring the root rake over and try to get some of these roots out of here. I posted that log for sale, and so hopefully somebody will get it and I can cut it to whatever length they want. It's 56 feet right now, the machine just won't move it. And I'd rather wait to cut it in case somebody wants it longer and it might be worth more. But I guess right now what I'll do is try to take some of this and loosen it up. Well, I'm not really sure what I want to do right now. Take a look. I got all this broken up. That worked really, really well. It's easy for that machine to just take a bucket down and just break it up. And it feels like it's way easier for that machine than for the skid steer to do it. The skid steer can do it, but the skid steer will go into this really, really easily. But I think I might have caught it on camera, but I got that white oak. I think I smashed the side of my X, so I haven't even looked at it. But I've got that pile way over there to burn. I've got a bunch of trees in here, so I think I may start another burn pile here. And if that's the case, look at this northern red. And so I may try to push that down. That'll land right about where I want it to. So I think I may start messing with that. Okay, I think this thing's ready to go timber. So I've got 2 cameras set up to try to catch it. And it looks like it's pretty much wanting to go that way, so it always just kind of makes me nervous, even though this is pretty controlled with this big machine. So wish me luck. Well, that was scary. I wanted to get it that way, but it ended up over there instead. It looks like that camera died. Hopefully this one is still on, even though it just fell. Yeah, it's still on. Okay, hopefully I've got some good footage. That's definitely a pretty big northern red oak. And I was definitely trying to get a little bit closer to where I wanted it. But that's where it ended up. So it just did not want to go that way for me. Anyway, it's definitely pretty straight. Y'all smell that? Smell of freshly broken oak? That's probably the biggest log I've ever sawed with this little saw, but it did pretty well. Things are looking pretty good out here. And I guess I'll be over here tomorrow. I took out 2 more trees, another maple and a sourwood. And I guess I'm gonna leave the X here tonight and be back tomorrow. So I'll burn tomorrow. It's gonna be a nice, cool, overcast day, so it should be a good day to burn. This is Sean. I will end part 1 of this project here, and I've got hundreds more video clips to edit, so I will get to working on part 2. Be sure and let me know what you think about this job. All right, with that, take care, and I will see you in the next one.